Good morning. Welcome to another Trailer Park Pundit. Happy New Year, right? We hung out together on New Year's Eve, most of us. Let's see if I got the Rokfin fired off. I think I did. I'm hoping the Rumble's going. Maybe. I know we do have a few viewers on Rumble, so I want to thank everybody who's gone over and followed Beauty and the Boomer on Rumble and gave us those Rumblers, Rumble rants. I don't know what they are, but I know we have enough now to actually start doing stuff on Rumble. So let me get the chat brought up so I can see who's hanging out. Did you guys just come over from the T Live Tuesday over at AM Wake Up? Great show this morning. I'm going to probably cover a few things they covered, but I hope I have a little different sources and angle than they do. Good morning, Snow Leopard. Choose the Heretics, choose Carnation Revolution now. Natalie Williams, John Kemper, welcome, guys. Welcome, Uncle Warren. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. How was yours? I had Hunter, my granddaughter, till yesterday, so all of Christmas is still up in the house, and Nana had to play a little catch up with a nap yesterday. I was so tired. We had her for a little over a week. 10 years old, man. I forgot the energy it takes to chase a 10-year-old, but I'm catching up. I'm catching up today. So glad to see everybody filing in. Rad Angel, welcome. Fred Edwards, so glad you're here. You guys, we got a good show lined up. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. A few things that we needed to cover that kind of happened over the Christmas holiday that didn't get a lot of attention, that need attention. And we're definitely going to be talking about the water issue in the Southwest and some new laws that have been enacted. So that way people like us won't be reporting on it. Because hell, if you don't hear about it, it's not happening, right? Okay, so I have sound, I take it. Nobody's bitching I don't have sound. Yay, that's a good way to start out 2023 is with sound. The true test, we'll see if I have sound when we get into the media clips. What's up, Rokfin? Hi, Lizzie. Happy New Year, Lizzie. I hope you had a great holiday season. Fred Edwards, so glad to see you. Thank you, everybody, hanging out on the Rokfin. I'm so happy with the Rokfin. It's growing so much. Rokfin's where it's at, right? Most people don't even know about Rokfin, though. I talk to people and I'll be like, oh, yeah, we're on Rokfin. And they're like, what is Rokfin? Like, seriously? I mean, even other content creators, I'm telling them, you don't know what Rokfin is? But if you actually go look on Rokfin, the amount of content creators over there isn't huge like everywhere else, right? It's just those few picky ones. So, yeah, definitely check us out on Rokfin or Rumble or Twitch. We're on all of them. Okay, let's get this deck brought up so we can get through the minutia of it. And I was going to try something new this morning. Let's try. No. Go over here. I want to do this to where you guys can see me in the corner. There you go. See me? I'm down here. I'm in a little box. I'm in a green box, which is going to change because I'm getting ready to make a big move, guys. I'm going to move my entire studio into my bedroom and move my bedroom basically into my living room so I can have more privacy. When you have two people streaming in the same house, you know, it's always, we don't want to be on each other's streams. Like if I'm talking in the background, like, hey, I'm live, you know, that type of thing. So it'll just be easier to split myself and Cold Fusion up. Of course, and my partner, Cold Fusion, he's gaming over on Twitch, Old Man Gaming. He keeps up with the younger kids and he drops some good clips over on Twitter. If you haven't followed him, if you're into that kind of thing, go ahead. But so, yeah, and I'm going to get rid of this green background. See my fingers? Everything's green and there's nothing I could do about it. I've changed cameras. I've changed studios. So bye-bye green screen. The green screen will only come down for Beauty and the Boomer. So Oz can embed us. But other than that, I'm going to start having a real background. I'll have my real trailer park background, the real paneling. See this mobile right here? That's what my place looks like. I mean, might be a couple years newer than that because mine's like a 72, I want to say, but it's got that brown and it's got the white. I'm not even kidding. I swear I would paint it, but it's going to cost me like $1,000. And if I had $1,000, I would put it into my flooring. So yeah, goals for the New Year's. Everybody has goals for the New Year's, right? So fair use, everything I talk about, the copyright disclaimer, I am, using it purely to commentate, and please go out, do your own research, form your own opinions. Basically, you guys know, the thing. Oh, I want to give you guys an update on my challenge. So I did the 62-mile challenge in for St. Jude's Hospital in the month of December. You guys were amazing coming out supporting me and donating. And I put videos up all month. I slacked the last week. I promise. I know, guys, I slacked. But I had Hunter. It was Christmas and we had a major snowstorm. So I do have a bunch of video. I'm thinking I might just do one big, like, this was our whole month of December. We had a lot of fun. I probably spent more time outside in December than I ever have in my entire life, which is good. And I saw more of our local trails than I've ever seen in my life. And did I reach 62 miles? I'm going to be honest. No, I did not. But I am happy to report that I hit almost 55 and I'm goddamn proud of myself for that. That's every day going out walking 2 miles, some days having to walk 4 miles, sometimes having to walk 6 miles. And when I first started, I couldn't even make it like a half mile with like, oh, screw this, I'm tired. And now I can pull 6 miles and not even miss a beat. So it helped me tremendously. It helped St. Jude's all around. It was a good thing for everybody. And I'm not giving up. I'm not quitting. This month was the 100 crunches. Ugh, no, I don't want to do crunches. I don't mind going out in nature, but I definitely will not be doing crunches. So I will be keeping up with that and still going outside. I don't say I have resolutions because I don't. I know I'm almost 50 years old. I know those fall by the wayside really fast. But what I do have is a drive to get healthier because I turned 50 very soon. And I want to, have my nutrition on point. I want to have, I want to feel better, right? And I do feel better since I started walking. When COVID hit, I kind of locked myself in and focused on independent media and, getting messages out. And I got a love for homemade cinnamon rolls. And that created quite an ass that I have to deal with now. And I don't want to go into 50 with the cinnamon roll ass. So I'm working on that. We're going to get rid of it. Ain't no way you almost 50. Oh, honey, I am. I am. You didn't see my 10-year-old granddaughter last show? Anyways, I've tried to do better. So this is just a quick message to you guys. Some of you all are unaware of just how amazing you really are. The way you make people laugh, lift others up, or spread some extra love. You do this even though you are struggling too. And I think it makes such a beautiful human being. And this message goes out to all of you guys. I don't consider myself a journalist like I do Combo Couch or Sabby, any of these people. I just consider myself one of you, just bringing you, kind of a summary of everything that I'm seeing. And I see you guys. I see you in those chats. I see you lifting each other up, giving each other love. This community is amazing. And I don't call this a YouTube page. I call this a community because that's exactly what it is. So shout out to you guys. And I hope the new year's treating everybody right. Oh, I'm going to start a new segment, guys. So this day in history. So who remembers this? Hillary Clinton was sworn as the U.S. Senator from New York, having become the first lady in U.S. history to win elected office. Yeah, we remember. Believe me, Pepperidge Farms remembers. After undergoing 10 days of psychological warfare, which included U.S. forces blasting rock music, Metallica, at the Vatican embassy, where he had sought refuge, Panamanian military leader Manuel Noriega surrendered to the United States. Oh yeah, we remember that. And this one was just kind of for me. English author and scholar J.R.R. Tolkien was perhaps best known for, Lord of the Rings, was born in South Africa. So happy birthday. Have you guys watched the new Lord of the Rings? I kind of started watching it a couple weeks ago. And honestly, I heard a ton of shit like, oh, it was wokeism. And yeah, I see the wokeism in it. It's disgusting. And they did what they have done to every franchise in the last couple of years, which is destroy it with their woke message. But other than that, I mean, I'm kind of enjoying it just because I'm such a Lord of the Rings fan. And, I read the books as a kid and I was obsessed with them and we named all of our animals after it. So I'm happy to see the story continue, but it's really shitty what they did, right? So, oh, and who remembers McDonald's uses packaging to promote COVID-19 vaccines? Yes, that one's doing the rounds this morning too. So that is your this day in history. What else do I got on here? I got a ton of stuff today, guys. So these are headlines I don't care to cover. Liz Cheney exits the Congress after 6 years later and millions of dollars richer. I wonder how that happened. Rob Reiner says today we say goodbye to possibly the greatest Speaker of the House in U.S. history. Nancy Pelosi has brilliantly and effectively led the Congress with intelligence, passion, decency, and a devotion to upholding our Constitution. I almost could say that. Her accomplishments are unparalleled. Thank you, Nancy. Rob Reiner, piss off, man. Piss off. Meathead. And this one just cracked me up. Why I'm learning Ukrainian? Because the language is political for the country. Because why am I learning Ukrainian? Because language is political for the country I've grown to love. Speaking the language has become a global symbol of solidarity with the victims of Vladimir Putin's aggression. God, these people just never fucking stop. She looks like such a Karen too. Really does. And I love this. It's a cult. Yeah, I believe it might be a cult. It might be. Okay, I got quite a few video sections coming up. So let's start off with Social Security raises. For those of you out there on Social Security, you probably checked your bank account this morning and saw that you got a little bit of a raise. They want you to think that it's a huge cost of living adjustment because that's what it is. And people call it a raise, but it's not really a raise. It's a cost of living adjustment based on the cost of fucking living, right? And they never seem to adjust enough. You have to cry and scream and they'll throw you $20 or $16 here and there, right? So I'm going to play this little clip and then we're going to talk about what I've seen with those surrounding me that are on Social Security. No sound. God dang it. Okay, hold on. Let me drop the screen share. I was waiting. I was sitting here like, is there sound? Is there sound? Okay, so let me try again, guys. It wouldn't be the new year if I didn't have some sound issues, right? Okay, try again. It's so weird because all I do is like drop it and bring it back in. And for some reason, the sound grabs when I do that. Doesn't do it the first time, but we shall see. Okay, let me know if you hear it.
If you depend on Social Security, you are in for a big pay raise this year. The program is planning on raising benefits by more than 8% to help with the increased cost of living. Recipients can expect to see their income jump by about $140 a month. This is the biggest increase in Social Security benefits since 1981. There is a catch, though, with the increase in pay. Some people may make too much money to qualify for low-income safety programs like food stamps and heat assistance. Your taxes will also go up.
Okay, so there was a lot in that, right? They said, oh, if you make too much, then you can't qualify. I'm taking it. It sounds okay. So my mother-in-law who lives with me, she got her Social Security adjustment and it went up over $100. And she was very excited, right? Oh, yay, I'm getting this extra. I think it's $120, whatever. And immediately the next day, she got a notification from welfare saying, oh, well, since your cash went up, we're going to cut your food stamps. And we all know what food prices look like right now. So they cut her food stamps by about half of what her adjustment was. So they took, $50 away. And then to top it off, the landlord kicked in and said, well, since everybody's raising the rent and the cost of living's been so high, instead of raising it the $20 I do every year, yes, every year our rent goes up $20. I'm going to raise it $40 this year. So basically all of those gains are now gone, right? And that's the way it seems to be. And you get cut out of qualifying for things like LIHEAP and some of the Medicare Part D. So yeah, those motherfuckers. I agree, Jilly. I agree. just shitty. Just shitty. Oh, we gave you more money. Oh, wait, we're gonna take that money. Guys, guess what? We have Davos coming up. Aren't you so excited? January 16th through the 20th. We should get a shit ton of cannon fodder, and I can't wait to hear all of our favorite commentators out there ripping apart the bullshit they're trying to sell us. So, happy new fear. Ready to spin the wheel for this year's fear-induced crisis? What could it be? What will it be? Cyber attack? Global flu shortage? New pandemic? Climate change 2.0? New war? New inflation record? Economic collapse. I'm going to say all of them. Just a guess. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Let's check this out. This is from Dabu7. We like Dabu. Dabu says that there's a prediction of an earthquake in San Francisco, just so you have a heads up. Not that I ever believe earthquake predictions, but here we go. Hey, go back. Apparently, they want you to watch Billy.
This is Dabu7. A heads up here as the World Economic Forum has released their 2023 Davos agenda. And this is all part of their Great Reset takeover. And some of these things, some of these themes match what we've seen in the past. And it shows where they're taking this whole thing from here. Now, this is an invite-only meeting in Switzerland that has some of the most powerful people in the world, elite members of government and corporate power, meeting behind closed doors in secret so they can discuss all these different things that are on their agenda. Now, this 53rd Davos meeting will be running from January 16th through the 20th, and they're calling it Cooperation in a Fragmented World. They go on to cite many different things that are causing this, but in his own words, Klaus comes out and says that we're at a critical inflection point and that the twin triggers of lockdowns and the war in Ukraine have already rattled a brittle global system. Now, I'm going to point out some of these key things here. Number one, they say they want to address the current energy and food crisis. And we know when they have these meetings, there's usually not good things to come in terms of the bullet points that they're targeting. The translation of that is eat bugs, use less energy in the name of climate change.
Well, I was muted. Well, if I don't mute, then I get echo. So Whitney Webb was over on the redacted, and I don't mean Lee Camp's redacted. I mean the other redacted, who I bring a lot nowadays. Yeah, I know. No sound, guys. But I just wanted to bring you guys this, and I'm dropping it in the chat so you guys can watch later. It's like an hour and a half conversation with Whitney. She does an amazing job, like she always does, just slaying it with truth. So let's just check out the opener, the intro to that. Am I still muted? I'm not still muted yet.
Transhumanism is a key driver of this supposed fourth industrial revolution. You see a lot of these people in Silicon Valley favoring what is obviously a technocratic system, where there's a class of technocrats who get to decide everything and you just have to live with it, and they're just telling you it's for the greater good.
So there you are. I like to give you guys stuff to do later, homework. But No, and like when I'm doing the dishes or maybe doing some laundry or doing something, I like to just throw a podcast on in the background and listen to it. And this is a great one. So definitely be checking up with Whitney and her tours for the book. So that kind of leads into a story that I was telling you about last week. Remember when I reported last week that the Attorney General for the Virgin Islands was suing JP Morgan Chase over the Jeffrey Epstein ties? Well, surprise, she wakes up New Year's morning without a job because she forgot to tell the governor that she was going to do that. And yeah, no, unacceptable. They fired her. And there's a couple of reasons I think why. I mean, obviously, the phone was ringing, right? And those involved were like, no, this isn't going to fucking happen. Nobody's investigating us. Get rid of her. They did get rid of her. But, I brought a little clip, and I don't ever bring sticks and hammers, but he has a very good point, and I think he's absolutely right about what this would have meant had it happened. And I'll just let him explain it to you.
But now the AG that wanted to look into JP Morgan's finances pertinent to the Epstein case has been sacked in order to effectively defang that investigation. And I do claim that is the reason why. The governor is now saying, well, there were enough problems already with this AG. But you never thought to rebuke or shit-can her until she decided to query JP Morgan. I'll tell you what happened. The phone rang in his office from some politician, or probably more than one, some foreign dignitary representing the Shah or something like that, some Raja out in South Asia, some major businessman, some billionaire, military leader, sports star, celeb, whatever it happens to be, saying, can her, get rid of her because we don't want her looking into the finances. And I'll tell you why they don't want her looking into the JP Morgan thing. Right now, the list of people that are compromised by Epstein Island and Ghislaine Maxwell is sealed. You can't read them. We have the flight logs. Those were released long ago, and that gives you an indicator of some of the people that might be involved, but there's no necessary evidence there were any transactions or anything like that. We don't know that because a person went to Little St. James that makes them guilty of partaking in human trafficking or anything else. Because they could have literally been there for an hour, sit down, discuss a business investment deal with Epstein, who did a lot of business on the side with real estate and shit like that too, and then left. We don't have any way of knowing. All we have is the flight log. That being said, what you would have if you investigated JP Morgan, this is not part of human trafficking. This is effectively claiming, look, some of these transactions were large enough and in the right, that they could be taxable, but then they weren't, there was tax fraud involved. They were illegal for some other reason, not necessarily pertinent to human trafficking. You look at all of these transactions, which she did, and say there's stuff here that JP Morgan should have blocked or should have let the government know was happening, specifically because it could be illegal.
Okay, now I'm unmuted. So here's the thing. We have the flight logs from Epstein Island, right? But the Ghislaine case and everybody involved is sealed. So had this been able to go through and she was able to question them about why didn't you flag these things? Why they have it's the law that they have to report transactions over a certain amount, certain types of transactions, if they're wire transfers, if they're right. Well, they didn't do that. And here's the thing. If we got a list of all of the ones that should have been dinged by them, and we compared that to the list of Epstein Island, we might get a more comprehensive idea of who was actually fucking trafficking. And they don't want that to happen at all. We cannot cross-reference anything. So that's why they shut this down. And yeah, I feel for the AG. I didn't have any hope. If you go back and you watch last week's little clip, I'm just like, this ain't going to go anywhere, right? Because absolute power is absolute corruption, and we know that. So, yeah, I don't bring sticks and hammers too often, but he's dead right about that. He's exactly right about why they didn't want this to go forward. So, thank you, Jilly. Happy New Year from all of the pedos on Pedo Island. I love how You got Bezos in there. And of course the puppies. Oh, it's a cartoon world we live in, right? Thank you, Julie. And this one just made my stomach turn. So I will never regret the vaccine, even if it turns out I injected accidental poison and I have only days to live. My heart is where was in the right place. I got vaccinated out of love, while anti-vaxxers did nothing out of hate. If I have to die because my love for the world, then so be it. But I will never regret or apologize for it. There you go, double down, right? You guys know there's a new variant out there, right? Did you hear this? Oh, God. And they're talking lockdowns again. Not to say that we haven't called this over and over and over for the last 6 months. We told you it was coming. And unfortunately, I think this might be the start of it. And this is PBS, so who knows? They might punk me, but bring it on.
3 years into the pandemic, and yet another new subvariant of the coronavirus has emerged. As William Brangham explains, it's spreading rapidly and it's driving an uptick in new infections.
This new Omicron subvariant, known as XBB.1.5, now accounts for more than 40% of new COVID infections here in the U.S. and around 75% of cases in the Northeast. This new variant emerges while just over a third of Americans 65 and older, those at most risk for severe outcomes, have gotten the updated booster shot. As China deals with a massive surge in cases, this week the U.S. will require a negative COVID test from passengers flying from China to the United States. Dr. Jay Varma is a physician and epidemiologist. He's also a professor and director of the Cornell Center for Pandemic Prevention and Response. Dr. Varma, great to have you back on the NewsHour. So there are these various COVID alarm bells that are ringing. Cases are rising. Some localities are asking for masks to be put back on with some mandates. And now this new variant has emerged, XBB. How worried should we be about this variant?
I think it's important for all Americans to understand that, this is a very precarious time for our healthcare system. So we're dealing with new COVID variants. We're dealing with, potential surge in infections that might arise from infections around the world. And we still have influenza and RSV to deal with. So I don't think Americans should be unduly alarmed. This variant is going to be causing some of the similar ups and downs as we saw earlier this year. But at the same time, it's just yet another reminder about the importance of vaccines and high quality masks.
So the initial reports that had come out that XBB.1.5 might be more able to evade our immunity, either from vaccines or prior infection, those aren't as alarming to you?
So what's concerning is that similar to these other Omicron variants, it's going to make people more likely to catch COVID. Similar to other variants, however, it doesn't appear that it's going to increase the risk of hospitalization and death beyond what has already happened in the past before. So again, more likely to get infected, but if you have vaccines and you have prior infections, you have similar level of protection. I think the other thing that is worrisome is, however, one part of our treatment arsenal, what was known as monoclonal antibodies, is no longer effective anymore. So it really leaves us only with Paxlovid, the one drug that's widely available as our effective treatment option.
Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. I keep getting messages that I'm muted, but I think you guys are a little bit behind me. This new variant is XBB.5. For a moment, I thought maybe Elon had a new kid because, he loves to name his kid shit like that. But we'll just see how this one plays out. And didn't everything he just say contradict itself? Like, oh, you're more likely, but you're not more likely. You're covered. We only have this. And the whole monoclonal antibodies. Yeah. We've been reporting on that for almost a year now. If you want to know why they're not available, well, maybe go hang out with Ryan Christians because he'll tell you. He'll tell you why they're not. Okay, so let's talk about the homeless. I know. So, remember when Davos said you will own nothing and you will be happy? Well, here's just a little example of that.
The Valley housing market has shown some signs of cooling, but that comes after years of record growth, drastically changing some Valley neighborhoods.
And more people are now becoming renters as opposed to buyers, according to new census data. Over the last 10 years, the number of multifamily rental units has outpaced traditional homes.
Team 12's Michael Dowdna dived into the numbers and what that means for our future.
The construction and yet to be finished homes tells a tale that Arizona is changing.
Since the last housing downturn, Phoenix Metro's market, and actually the whole national housing market, has changed.
Anubhav Bagley is the Regional Analytics Director at the Maricopa Association of Governments. And census data shows that in the past 10 years, 4 Phoenix zip codes have seen a housing flip, where homeowners went from the majority to the minority. And in one case at 85054 near Desert Ridge, seeing a 90% increase in the number of renters.
Not a big surprise. This region is changing. This region has evolved.
And Bagley lives in that 85054 zip code. He says since the Great Recession, the building of rental units have far outpaced the traditional home.
Case in point, for this metro area, we're building about 35-40% less single family, but 11% more multifamily.
So there you are. That's a classic example of you will own nothing. And so, yeah, in the Phoenix market, apparently there's more people renting than there is buying. And it's been that way probably since 2008. And it's been, on a rise. We know that. We talk about it constantly. And yes, house prices are fucking stupid. Just stupid. Just unrealistic, and so is everything else. I heard a sales report yesterday about new cars and how they can't sell them. Nobody has any money to buy cars. Nobody has any money to buy anything, right? And I definitely felt that at Christmas time. I don't know about you, but this was the most financially challenged Christmas I've had since I was probably 18 years old, and there was some hurt feelings at Christmas time that there wasn't the mass amount of gifts under the tree like there normally is. And it hurt. It hurt as a mom and a grandma and, just as a human being, because you want to, give everybody you love a beautiful gift. And between Amazon not delivering and not having any money, it was a tough Christmas. And I know I was not the only one. Everybody was feeling this, everybody. So we know it's just going to get worse. A couple of laws passed today about homelessness. So starting today, it is a felony in Missouri to sleep on the state-owned land, like under overpasses and bridges. You will be fined $750 and 15 days in jail. So yeah, let's take these people that have no money and no place to go and fine them almost $1,000. And hey, we'll just throw them in jail for 15 days because that's money for the state, right? That's just funding. 40% of homeless people in the United States have either a part-time job or a full-time job. The truth is that many do, in fact. This was a 2021 study from the University of Chicago that estimates 53% of people living in homelessness have a job. And did you know that 48 states, including the District of Columbia, have laws passed now to make basically camping on the street or being homeless illegal? And I think most people don't realize that's their solution, is to just crack down on it. I mean, like I always say, it's just like fire ants in the South. You don't get rid of them. You just push them into your neighbor's yard. And that seems to be the sentiment and mentality around this anymore, other than throwing billions of dollars at it to figure out why none of the things we're doing is helping. And we all know, because that money's being skimmed off the top and put into people's pockets instead of actually trickling down to the bottom and helping those who need it most. This was a great meme. Who put this meme up? Draft Bernie put this meme up. And yeah, I agree with you, Nick, on this one. Yeah, Bernie. So see a tent, just fucking leave it alone. Thanks. Maybe instead of complaining about homeless persons only shelter from the elements, you could do something about the economic conditions that put them there in the first damn place. Or maybe let them use your bathroom or maybe let them use the bathroom at your overpriced, bougie ass hipster cafe. As you go out of your way to make the life of a homeless person harder, ask yourself this question: what the fuck is wrong with me? And that is true. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Where is the compassion? Where is the empathy? Oh, now this is a big story. So I got like 4 in this segment, guys. We got to talk about water wars because the water wars are here. I reported them all last summer, all last spring. Um, they've actually are getting to a point now where they're just shutting whole fucking towns off of water. So we'll start in Scottsdale, Arizona, where one community no longer is allowed water. So let's check it out. And you're not going to hear this on mainstream news.
And over the weekend, the city of Scottsdale cut the community off from its water supply.
Team 12's William Pitts talked to residents who are now scrambling to try to figure out how they can keep living in their homes.
There's usually a truck pulling up to this fill station every couple of minutes, but we've been here all morning and haven't seen one yet. That's because the city of Scottsdale has officially cut off Rio Verde foothills from all of the water. And now a lot of residents don't know what they're going to do.
You would have thought that something could have been worked out.
You would have thought that. So did John Carroll. Now this RV is his lifeboat.
We've already talked about if it worst came to worst, we'd have to just go somewhere.
It's filled with 100 gallons of water. The tank in the front yard has 5,000 gallons. He doesn't know when or if he'll get any more.
You could live for a while without electricity, things like that, but water?
On Sunday, New Year's Day, the city of Scottsdale made good on its promise to cut off the people of Rio Verde foothills from city water. In a drought, Scottsdale wants to conserve its own water for its own residents, and Rio Verde foothills isn't in the city limits.
So yeah, they just figured, well, you guys are the furthest ones out. You guys have been having a water problem for a long time, so fuck it, you guys are just cut off. So all of these homeowners now own property and houses where future water is probably not coming. And to say any different means that you don't understand what's going on in the Southwest with the water. And we're going to get into that right now. So you guys know that I have always brought you content from a channel called Sin City Outdoors. These are fishermen. They're a father and son couple, or father and son, who content creators who started out by just recording their fishing. Right? They live by Lake Mead. They would go out there, they'd fish. And they started noticing the bathtub ring was dropping so dramatically, right? And the islands and the boats and everything that was surfacing as Lake Mead was drying up in the last year. And they grew huge. I mean, I loved it. It was like, oh, great. Everyday people going out there and showing us what's actually going on. I believe that a hell of a lot, sooner than I would believe mainstream media. And so after a year and a half of filming content, and yes, they were monetized. Yes, they made money off of their content. Why shouldn't they? When you're out there working your ass off, you have the right to get paid for it. Well, they changed the laws in federal parks now, and you're not allowed to film in any federal reserve or federal park, but I'll let them explain it to you and we'll talk more about it.
Right now, you'll notice that I am not at Lake Mead. Although you saw the title of this video and all that, we're going to start talking about that right now. We figured might as well enjoy our day here at beautiful Boulder City Park Pond in Boulder City. They just stocked it with some trout, great eating fish. So we're going to do a little bit of fishing, but they actually made it illegal to film at Lake Mead. I know a lot of people have been putting it in the comment section down below, sending me it on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Everybody's like, what's your opinions on this? What are you thinking is going on and stuff? And we haven't been talking about it a lot because we've wanted to let some time roll by, kind of process our thoughts and see if it's true or not. Sure enough, it's true. The Lake Mead website got updated and now you need a permit to film. And it's not exactly an easy process to get the permits and stuff. So it's crazy right now because now that they made it illegal, if you get caught filming there for commercial reasons, which is commercial reasons are considered for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere where you might be making a little bit of money is a commercial reason. You can get thousands of dollars in fines and literally end up 6 months in prison. I don't feel like going to jail right now, so we're out here fishing somewhere else, talking about the lake right now and where we're going to see this future going.
So that was just a small clip. You can go over to their channel, which is Sin City Outdoors. And, they've adapted. They were on the road. They decided they'd go look at the mighty Mississippi and just see how bad the drought was at the Mississippi. And I think you might be shocked by talking to locals and fishermen and about what's actually going on with the Mississippi. I think it's pretty normal for the Mississippi to drop the way it did in the last couple of months. It's not something that they hadn't seen before. And yeah, they're doing a great job of really recording our water levels in the country. I mean, yeah, they went to Mississippi. It was great footage, and I really appreciate these guys because they're just everyday people who see how effed up the system is, and now they're realizing, just how much you get shadow banned and fucked with. But here's the problem: not only did they pass that for Lake Mead, Lake Mead is a federal reserve. It is one of the biggest federal reserves in the country. They passed it for all federal parks and lands. So, I live on the edge of the Olympic National Forest. I'm in there all the time. Just this week, we've been out recording footage. And from here on out, if I don't apply for a permit, which is $200 and you got it like 12 days in advance, and if you go out and you get caught and they're not happy, yeah, you're looking at huge fines and you're looking at jail time. So basically, they don't want any of us talking about anything that's happening in any of the national reserves or the national parks that hasn't been cleared by them, right? So if it's not the official narrative, and that's kind of worrisome, guys. That knocks out a huge chunk of the country and what's going on and what we're able to report. But we knew it was coming, right? Just these Orwellian measures. But I just want to remind everybody how close we are. And Mana, yeah, I see Mana's talking about how they release some of the spillway waters, and that's exactly it. I've spent a lot of time studying the waterways in the Southwest, and and it all starts with the Flaming Gorge, and then it goes down to Lake Powell, and then it goes to Lake Mead. And here's the thing: PG&E owns those turbines on Lake Powell, and Lake Powell is much more dangerously low than Mead is at this point. And so they had to keep giving them the water to Lake Powell. I mean, Flaming Gorge Reservoir is lower than it's ever been. And if you have ever seen any of these reservoirs, they're so majestic and so it's like being punched in the gut when you see that water ring. I was fortunate. My dad was a fisherman back in the 90s, and he lived in Utah. So we would shoot up to Flaming Gorge, or we would go down. We would hit a lot of the lakes. So I got to see a lot of these waterways in the 90s when they were at 100% full capacity. And to see them now is just shocking. And here's just a little update about how much longer they think we have by their numbers, by the scientific numbers, for Lake Mead. And I don't think we got 2 years before it becomes a problem, a serious problem that even the media can't cover up. So let's look at some of these numbers.
In the near future. As of the day I put this video together, which is December 12th, Lake Mead's water level sits at 1,043 feet, and back at its lowest point in the peak of summer, the water levels were at 1,040 feet. And take a look at this chart I found on the web. Other than staring at the bathtub ring, I think this provides another perspective of just how bad the situation is. This is January of 2022, and this is July of 2022, and as you can see, in about 6 months, water levels dropped by 26 feet, and like the economy, it doesn't seem to be picking up anytime soon. And in fact, according to azcentral.com, a forecast from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation states that by November of 2023, Lake Mead could see a new low of just 1,007 feet, bringing it even closer to Deadpool. And no, not that Deadpool. I'm talking about the Deadpool that means once the reservoir gets to a low enough level, we're all fucked. Let me explain. Deadpool simply means that water can no longer flow downstream from the dam, and once it can no longer flow downstream, that means the turbines can no longer spin, resulting in loss of power for millions of people across Arizona, Nevada, and California. And technically, it doesn't even have to reach Deadpool for the turbines to stop spinning. It only has to drop to about 950 feet to lose power, and then at 895 feet, that means no more water downstream. This would force states to seek alternative energy sources, and in the meantime, if not already, you can expect water and power costs to skyrocket. Here's a diagram to give you a better visual of how the water level affects the dam. Heads up, this is a little outdated because the water level depicted in this diagram shows it at 1,072 feet. Power cutoff threshold would be here at about 950 feet, and Deadpool would be just beneath it here at 895 feet.
Okay, so if you've been watching some of my coverage over the last year about this, there is literally 3 suction turbines that go into Lake Mead. The first one was built when they originally built it. It was kind of at the top. And then in the 90s, they realized, oh shit, we're losing water. So they built the second one, which was a little bit lower. But even now, they're like, oh shit, that's not going to work. So they hurried up in the 2000s and they put one even deeper. But that deeper one, only there's got to be like 850 feet for them to be able to suck. And basically, when they hit that third one, now they announced last summer they were shutting the number 1 off, remember? And they were going off of number 2 only. Well, when they go to that third, pipe, I can't remember what it's called, but that will only go to Vegas. So what they've been slowly doing is when this reservoir was built, it was built to supply the whole Southwest, right? We're talking California and Arizona and Nevada, and they're slowly starting to cut off the farmers further out, California, these areas, and yeah, the water's just drying up. So what's going to happen? Let's say 3 years from now. 3 years from now, when those outlying areas and most of our, I mean, a huge amount of our agriculture comes from those valleys in California. So much of our shit is grown there, almonds and asparagus. And I mean, I could just list the tons of stuff that's coming out of here. But the main one is leafy greens, lettuce, kale, these type of things are grown there. And I don't know if you guys have been to the store to buy just a basic freaking non-organic head of Dole lettuce lately. It's $5 no matter where you go, Walmart, your local grocery store, whatever. I was shocked. I actually looked at the lady next to me at the grocery store and I go, did I grab organic? And she goes, no, there's just no lettuce anymore. So my take is this year I'm planting a lot of lettuce in my little trailer park garden. I didn't grow any last year because it kind of struggled. Last year was a weird growing season. So I'm hitting the ground running this year. And yeah, I'm growing a lot of lettuce because that sucks. You want tacos or, something good with lettuce in it, a salad. Yeah, they knew this in 1999. Kate, you're right. They knew this. You know what happened? In the 50s, they fucked up their calculations when they were calculating the flow of the Colorado River. And they go, oops, our bad. Like, we screwed up. We thought that more water would be running through. So now we need to adjust. So basically, they're just trying to blame it on bad science and bad math from the 50s. But they've known for a long damn time. Oh, okay. So you guys heard about the Fauci files, right? Oh my God. The cognitive dissidents and these idiots on the right who seem to think that Elon has saved their fucking lives in their world and has woke the world up and all these truths are being dropped. Yeah, there might be some truths we already knew being dropped, but what does it mean? What's going to come of it? Nothing's going to come of it, right? We've been saying that all along, but old Tim Fool over there at Tim Pool, he seems to think that this one's going to bust the world wide open. So let's check it out. Hopefully this one plays. It was being a little tricky earlier.
Establishment corporate narrative. Here's what you need to understand about what we're witnessing. I will start with a major white pill for all of you for 2023. Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter and the release of this information is shattering the machine in a way we've not seen in 100 years or longer.
Yeah, I didn't play the whole clip, but that's okay. What the hell is he talking about? Shattering the machine? What is it shattered? What has it shattered? Nothing. No mainstream media is covering this. And, if you're paying attention, the people that are already informed don't watch those channels. It's the people who are not informed that are watching those channels. And, yeah, this ain't shattering anything. I still can't figure Tim Pool out. I mean, I know he hangs out with Luke Wadowski, and I like Luke, and I followed Luke's work for many years, but I just wonder, what the hell is he even talking about? So, yeah, I don't think the Fauci files are going to be the big machine-shattering breakup that everybody seems to think on the right. So, yeah, let's just keep worshiping Elon at the altar of Elon. I got to tell you guys, in the last couple of weeks, I've really come to question if Elon Musk is the Antichrist. If you paid attention to the Pope's Christmas message, he made a reference to an elegant demon that's inside the Vatican. And so is he admitting that maybe the Antichrist is walking the earth? Makes you wonder. Anyways, so yeah, Elon's not going to save us. And who's shadow banned? Everybody I know is still shadow banned and attacked by bots on Twitter fucking daily. Nothing's changed for us. If anything, it's gotten worse for us on us real truth tellers. And I don't mean, just the far right mouthpieces. For those of us actually bringing freaking truth, we've been censored even harder. Go try to find Misty, Comrade Misty Putin. What is her sarcasm stardust, something like that. Go type it in. She won't be brought up. I mean, Fiorella Isabel, Pasta, and so many of our friends out there. You can't even find them. So Twitter is a freaking joke. These guys are idiots to believe that Elon's fixing anything. Oh, I got a couple of serial killer updates for you guys. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about the Idaho. Just a quick thing. But first, I wanted to cover a kind of a closure to a story that I was covering last year. If you were back watching the CC Gal days back with Farron Franzak and I think we covered this story because it kind of had implications with the Gabby Petito case. You remember the Gabby Petito case? I don't know how you missed it if you didn't. But so two women, the couple were murdered in Moab in a campground. And for the longest time, we thought that the killer might have been Brian Laundrie, the same, because they were in the same town at the same time. Cops quickly ruled it out. I mean, they told us 8 months ago, no, there was no relation, but now they think the case is closed. So I'll let you guys check that out.
A double murder case finally closed. Police releasing new information stating they know who murdered two women in Moab. ABC4's Ali Abroulian talking to investigators about the new information. And Ali, what are they saying?
Well, Emily, police say this murder is solved. Police now saying after over a year of searching for Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner's killer, they have enough evidence to name their murderer, Adam Pinkowitz. But before he could be arrested, he committed suicide. The bodies of newlyweds Crystal Turner and Kylan Schulte found shot dead near a campsite in Moab on August 18th, 2021. The case is now closed, but the killer police are identifying is dead.
Obviously, he was alive. This would be a situation where we have enough to place him under arrest, and we feel like we would be able to take him to trial and get a guilty conviction.
Investigators say the murderer is Adam Pinkowitz, a former co-worker of Turner's who was known to be aggressive to some and homophobic towards the newlyweds' relationship. Kylan's father was told Pinkowitz was the likely killer back in May.
The guy that worked with the girls at McDonald's. The one who never came back for his last paycheck.
Pinkowitz allegedly fled to Iowa after the murder, where he met his significant other. The significant other later telling police Pinkowitz admitted to him he murdered two women in Utah before committing suicide. They say the significant other told them Pinkowitz murdered the couple in their tent, a detail police never released, verifying his statements.
The only way they would have gotten that information would have been from Adam.
Investigators say Pinkowitz was at the couple's campsite, setting up his things uncomfortably close to them while they were camping. The couple called him creepy camper to their friends, not recognizing who it was. Police say he deleted all photos of himself in Moab during that time off of his phone, finding search results for the same type of bullets used in the couple's murder and memos in his phone saying he constantly had the urge to kill and rape people, despite him already being dead. Kylan's father says his daughter still found justice.
I do not have to face him. He's already been sentenced. He's already in hell, and our work's done. Yes.
So yeah, I got some questions with that one too, Jilly. Exactly. They said his significant other that he confessed to. Yeah, it almost made it sound like I don't know. I don't know. We need some clarity on that. But I am glad that they got some closure. The family got some closure because I have been following that case since the get-go. Very sad. Who the fuck is wrong with people? So now to the story everybody in the country is talking about, and that is the Wazoo slain 4 college students slayed in their beds. This happened on November 16th, and of course there has been a manhunt. They were looking for this car. It's been a crazy story, and basically they had an arrest this over the weekend. They caught a guy in Pennsylvania. Apparently, now the FBI did this, and I reached out to Farron and said, hey, do you want to do a good breakdown of this? Let's bring CC Gals back. So hopefully I'll be bringing CC Gals back, and Farron and I can really dive into this case because there's so much. And this case is going to be huge, huge, huge. I don't know how Idaho is going to handle both the Daybell case and this case because they're both in small towns. They're going to have to change the venues. They're going to have to go to Boise. And basically the state of Idaho is going to have to pick up the bill on both of these multi-million-dollar trials because that's what they're going to be. And this one, it's a criminal law student. He's studying for his PhD in criminality. I mean, this guy has been very immersed in how crime works and the criminal mind. I think he was really aspiring to be a part of the BAU, the behavioral analysis unit, of course, that Quantico has. We've all watched Criminal Minds, and this case is very much a criminal's mind type of case. Finding out that, how obsessed he is. He's a vegan. I mean, that doesn't compute with what we know about serial killers, right? Most serial killers like to torture animals, and the fact that he wouldn't eat anything that was prepared in a pan that had previously cooked meat. I mean, this is a crazy, crazy story, and I can't cover it, not even in 2 seconds. So that's why I want to do a deep dive. He is to be arraigned. I don't know if he's been arraigned yet, but as I was going live, we saw an interview with his attorney, his public pretender, because that's what I call them. And he's expected to just waive extradition and be on his way back to Idaho to face these charges. So let's check this out.
With Jason Labar as the public defender representing Brian Kohberger at today's hearing. He has visited his client 4 times since his arrest. Mr. Labar, good morning to you. You have a busy day ahead of you. First of all, just quickly, what do you expect to happen today at the hearing?
I expect Brian to be brought into courtroom 1, and he's likely to sign the extradition paperwork.
And you've visited with him several times. You've made a point to say you have not talked to him or tried to talk to him about the substance of the charges against him. What has his demeanor been like? What has his mood? What have you observed from those multiple interactions in the last few days?
He's being very calm. He's very aware. He understands the proceedings. I did discuss with him what to expect in the upcoming days on his transport, as well as what to expect when he actually returns to Idaho and is likely in front of a magistrate or a judge there.
I recognize you're being careful because you're handling this procedural matter. You're not the person who will be defending him at trial, presumably. But has he reacted to the charges at all? One can imagine being accused of something like this and saying, wait, where did this come from? Why are they coming after me? Have you seen any kind of that behavior from him?
It is a little out of character. He said, I mean, this is not him. He believes he's going to be exonerated. That's what he believes. Those were his words. So he's really been very easy to talk to, actually. And he's in a calm demeanor, like I stated.
What about his family? The mother, father, the sister, they put out a statement. What do they say about the charges against him and what they make of this in terms of the person that they know?
They don't believe it to be Brian. They can't believe this. They're obviously shocked. This is certainly completely out of character. The allegations, and really they're just trying to be supportive with the understanding these 4 families have suffered loss, so that they're sympathetic towards that, and that's why it should remain really private, and they don't want to try this case in the court of public opinion, and without knowing the facts and evidence as of right now, they don't really want to comment on things.
Yeah, sorry you guys are buffering. I seem to be okay here, but that doesn't mean anything, you know. The way the internet is. Oh, turn your speed up. YouTube has been turning your bit rate down. So when you go into the little settings, you can turn it from 420 to 720, and that seems to help with a lot of people's issues. See if that helps. Um, I know right now I'm only streaming in 720 because I have to pay a couple $100 more to do 1080. No buffering here. Yeah, it's just hit or miss. I think it's where you're at. Mine does that too. Sometimes on Rokfin, I can't even watch a show because it just constantly does its thing. So I'm sorry for that. Yes, I want to do a full update on this. This story is so. This guy is like Ted Bundy and American Psycho wrapped into one, and that is no effing joke. I can't wait to do an in-depth, comprehensive dive down into this because there's just so much crazy crap, and it's going to get worse. This is definitely going to be a case where this guy wants to be front and center. He wants to be famous. He wants infamy, and he's going to get it because it's all the mainstream media can talk about, right? I mean, it's all independent media will be talking about, but he will be added to the list of, they don't call him a serial killer because he's a mass murderer. He murdered at once. But my take on it is you don't go in and violently stab 4 people alone in their sleep if you probably haven't done it before. I mean, normally you don't start out with 4, you start out, slow. So I would hope that the BAU and the FBI is looking at everywhere he's been, everywhere his phone has pinged over the last couple of years, any unsolved homicides in those areas. I mean, that's what I would be doing. I'm pretty sure it was the FBI that caught this guy, not the Podunk, Idaho town. Of course, they had a lot of help, and seems like they had him in the sights and they'd been watching him. But here's the thing. This is the most important bit of this case for me is this guy thought he had planned the perfect crime. He was a criminal student. I mean, the guy has a bachelor's. He has all these degrees in psychology and criminology. And it used to be believed that if your DNA wasn't in the system, they couldn't track you down because there's no DNA sample. So for some of us who've done, genealogy reports or who have done DNA testing for kids, you're automatically on file, right? Well, I think this guy thought my DNA is not anywhere on file. So how could it ever come back to me? But as we have learned from multiple cases now, including the Golden State Killer, is that they can backtrack your genealogy. So a cousin's uncle's brother, put in a genealogy test, they can work backwards and find you. And apparently that's how they found this guy. So yeah, I'm excited to do a deep dive. I'm hoping Monday I can get one together for us and get everybody caught up on why this case is important. It's not just, how sad these kids were slain and they need justice, but how each one of these cases is changing the future of prosecutions, the future of how we're treated for future crimes, right? I mean, that we all know that's where we're heading. Minority Report. So sad case. I'm glad that the family is getting some closure with the fact that somebody has been picked up in the community. Because how scary was it for a college town to think that there was a psycho murderer out there on the loose? So to know that they caught somebody, we'll follow this as it goes. I'm having horrendous buffering. Oh, I'm sorry, Kate. I don't know if it's me or if it's the internet, but we're almost done for the day. So
with Jason LaBar is the pub.
So sorry, guys. I'm hoping when I move, things will get better. Let's see. So Buttigieg, I've got to get out and tell people Pete Buttigieg's on the road ahead. So can the U.S. revitalize its infrastructure? And is it ready for a gay president? Why is that a thing? And does Buttigieg plan on running one day? I have you guys seen the propaganda out there? They're really pushing Buttigieg. Like, I don't know. He's popping up with all kinds of articles, and we've been talking about how we're pretty sure that they're going to segue Joe Biden and they're going to bring somebody new in. And is Pete even old enough to run? I don't know how old the rat fink is, but he might be running, guys. So we know that they're going to find somebody. You got mail. Do I got mail? Who do I got mail? Jilly always sends me mail. I love my Jilly mail. Let's see. What did Jilly send us today? Let's drop that, and I'll go grab my other screen. Screen 3. Let's see what Jilly's got over here for us. Here we go. No, that's not it. That was the Virgin Islands AG is fired days before. Yeah, we already covered that. Oh, this was a good one. Yeah. This was 2016 speech by Fauci conduit to the Wuhan lab explaining exactly how the lab would make COVID. So this is exactly how they would make COVID from 2016. Thanks, Shirley.
We found other coronaviruses in bats, a whole host of them. Some of them looked very similar to SARS. So we sequenced the spike protein, the protein that attaches to cells. Then I didn't do this work, but my colleagues in China did the work. You create pseudoparticles, you insert the spike proteins from those viruses, see if they bind to human cells. And each step of this, you move closer and closer to this virus could really become pathogenic in people. We found.
So, yeah, don't say that, you're a conspiracy theorist for even thinking that this could be engineered. I don't know where anybody would come up with that, right? We don't know. Only the fact that they admit it and always have admitted it. We always talk about this soft disclosures. They have to tell you what they're doing. Oh no, DC, your phone hasn't been charging. I have had those problems and it sucks. Good morning, everybody. I saw Chad Wilson stopped in. Good morning, Chad. Happy New Year, DC. So glad to see you. Vic Vass Adams is here. I know a bunch of you guys came in. Gamer, hi Gamer. Marby Dog, you crack me up. You guys make me laugh. Red Cloud, hi Red Cloud. So glad to see you. Thank you guys so much for dropping in. I think we're getting to the end of this one, but hi, P Stuff. Hi, P Stuff. Let me drop this and bring in my other screen again. I think I'm going to try a new studio. What do you guys think? Should I try a new studio? Actually, I've just been like, screw it. I'm just going to go back to OBS because it seems to be the one that I can do everything in. Always the fun of it. So I have a very special announcement that I want everybody to know about, and I expect to see you guys over on her on her Twitter feed and her Facebooks. Today is Miss Amber King's birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Amber King, my Roar Media sister. I hope you have a peace-filled love day with friends and family, and you deserve it because you know what? Being a woman in independent media, doing a one shadow band show at a time, it ain't easy. And so happy birthday, Amber. Happy. If you guys see her in the chats, make sure you shout her out and definitely troll her over on her Twitter because everybody loves some birthday love. Yeah, happy birthday, Amber. So I don't know if you guys had heard it, and this is the first time I'm saying it. Apparently, Roar Media is in talks to go to Cuba with the Combo Couch in March. And I can't be more excited. I am nervous. Like, oh my God, my mind is just flooded with so many things I need to do and get done. And so I will have GoFundMe's going up and I will need your guys' help because I got to get my passport. Every time I go to take a trip, I go, oh, I'll get my passport. But then my passport is going to take so long, like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And normally we're about 6 or 8 weeks out when we plan a trip that we're going on that I just say, screw it. And I don't do it. And I have to this time. So I'm really excited. Oh, what a treat it will be to go down as part of a delegation and observe some votes, their election system. I will definitely have more information. And I know that there's a bunch of great events being planned in DC for March and April for, Free Assange. Go check out Comrade Misty Putin's timeline, Twitter, if you can find it. And I'll keep you guys updated on that. So we do have some actions coming up and I'm super excited. Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to see Cuba. How amazing would it be to be there with Amber and Pasta? And yeah, just awesome. So, whoa, that shouldn't be there. Let me see if I can get that to update. Update, come on. What are you doing? There we go. Okay, good meme. Saw this meme and I just had to bring it to you guys because, hey, When people ask, what does George Orwell being a Freemason have to do with his predictions? You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. Yeah, right? You wouldn't get it. So I don't even have to explain it. I know we finally make a communist out of you yet, Shanda. Oh, God, I know, right? Ugh, God, I got called a socialist for so long, and now I just disdain that. Don't call me a goddamn socialist. I guess if you got to call me anything, call me a communist. So yeah, thank you guys. Here, let me shout out the chats before we get out of here. And I just wanted to say, oh, let's see, I got a few Assange ones. And all I loved alone, Poe. So sad. And if you'd like to write Julian Assange, please, please, please just drop him a letter, guys. Get your passport. I know, Kate, I know. And for me, it's been a money thing. I just haven't had the extra $200, $300 to drop on it at the time because I'm traveling. I'm always like, well, I'll just save the money and get it next time. So yes, as soon as I get off here today, I'm going to go get my application filled out and we'll get that taken care of. So let's see what's going on with the chats. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see that. Fred Edward, of course, hanging out. Thank you so much, Fred, for always sharing our stuff out and being first in the chat normally. You do great. Boy, the Rokfin's kind of quiet today for as many as is over there. I guess you guys aren't talking. Bella Lugosi, thank you for joining us. Welcome. I know, guys, I know the buffering's been so bad today. I'm so sorry. Like I said, I'm doing a major move, so things are going to change. Thanks, Chad. President Jesus, thank you for joining us. Peace, Dove, of course, Kate, DC, Jilly, you're the best. Gamer, Choosy, Heretics, Choose Carnation Revolution now. Let's see, who else did I miss in here? If I missed you, I'm sorry. Steven Shanahan's hanging out. I just love that you guys come hang out in the morning with me. To go live and to see even 10 of you guys waiting, it's like, okay, well, I have purpose in life. So thank you for giving me purpose. It's one way or another, right? Okay, I got 2 closing songs for you. First one who says which one they want will get it. So we can either do Cake, Going the Distance, or we could do Alice in Chains, Wood. So come on. Tell me what you want to listen to. What do you want to listen to? They're both great covers. But a few announcements, guys. So Thursday, I will not be doing a show because, like I said, I'm getting ready to tear my studio down. I'm going to move it in the bedroom, move my dressing room out to my living room. So hopefully that'll be done. And no Beauty and the Boomer on Saturday. I'm so sorry, guys. Oz has been just under the weather, and I don't want you guys to worry about him because I'm worrying about him, but I just want him to have some time off. And we normally take time off at the beginning of the year too. When you're doing every Saturday for a year, it gets, it gets you. So I want him to have the weekend off, and hopefully we'll be back after that. I talked to Brother Pasta on New Year's. He called me, and To Hell and Back comes back on Thursday. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday, we will be back. To Hell and Back will only be on Rokfin. It's just such an in-depth show. And, Brother Pasta. So we're going to have to just go Rokfin, Rumble, all the channels that we can tell truths on because we can't do that on YouTube. And it makes me sad that I won't be getting able to hang out with you guys on Thursdays, but I can if you come hang out on the Rokfin. So yeah, definitely follow us for that. So, and then hopefully Monday I'll be here with a CC gal. I don't know if I'll be by myself. Hopefully I can get Farron to join. And hey, guys, I'm looking for a couple of co-hosts to come hang out with me. Uncle Warren, what are you doing? You want to come do a show with me? So yeah, if you guys want to hang out and do a show, hit me up. You guys know how to hit me up on Twitter at Chanda-Masta. Trailer Park Pundit. You just type in Trailer Park Pundit and you will find me. So thank you so much. And I'm so sorry you guys are buffering. I don't know what it is. I don't know. For sure. Okay, well, we're closing with cake today. So everybody needs cake in the new year. I want you guys to have a great weekend. And yeah, please pull Farron away from the rest of the law tubers. I know. I will wrestle Farron. Well, she's been doing some Newsnet. What is Newsnet? You guys tell me what that is. Maybe I'm just out of the loop, but she's been doing some Newsnet reports and she's been doing a lot of politics. So yeah, we shall see what we can come up with. So yeah, you guys have a great rest of your week. And I will get a final 62 miles in the month of December video edited for you guys so you can kind of see the whole adventure. So hopefully I'll get that done this week. Well, we're kind of down, but yeah, happy birthday, Amber. Have a great day. And I will see you guys Monday. Yeah, Monday.
Reluctantly crouched at the starting line, engines pumping and bumping in time. The green light flashes, the flags go up, churning and burning. They yearn for the cup, they deftly maneuver and muscle for rank. Fuel burning fast on an empty tank. Reckless and wild, they pour through the turns. Their prowess is potent and secretly stern. As they speed through the finish, the flags go down. The fans get up and they get out of town. The arena is empty, except for one man still driving and striving as fast as he can. The sun is going down and the moon has come up. And long ago somebody left with the cup, but he's driving and striving and hugging the turns and thinking of someone for whom he still burns. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in a time of need. Because he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and riding and riding on his horse. He's going the distance. No flowers, no flashbulbs, no wine. He's haunted by something he cannot define. Bowel-shaking earthquakes of doubt and remorse assail him and hail him with monster truck force. In his mind, he's still driving, still making the grade. She's hoping in time that her memories will fade. Cause he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. Sun is going